besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Reagan and today we are going to be talking about my anticipated releases of 2024. I have a list on my phone of all the books that we're going to be talking about today. It's about 10 or 11 if I can remember correctly, so I am honestly so excited for the reading year of 2024 to come. There are so many amazing books that are coming out and so many books that I'm so excited to continue on in, or sequels of books, new releases by favorite authors, things like that. So I am so excited to see what 2024 brings in the year of reading. I don't know, I'm just feeling like it's going to be a magical year. With all that being said, let's get on into the video and let's talk about some anticipated releases. Number one on my list, which is no surprise to anyone, and I feel like it's the elephant in the room that just needs to be said and done. House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. Miss Sarah Janet herself is coming out with Crescent City 3. I am absolutely so excited. House of Earth and Blood is one of my favorite books of all time. I love that book so much. It just has a very special place in my heart, and I'm excited to see what Miss Sarah Janet does in the third book, because if you have read it and you know, the second book left off on a very big cliffhanger, and I'm very scared but excited to see what she does in House of Flame and Shadow. This book comes out January 30th. I will be taking off work. It is pre-ordered. I am so excited to literally just get my book, sit on the couch, and not move until I finish like 800, 900 pages of it. Next up, we have Only If You're Lucky by Stacey Willingham. I have read her other two thriller releases and absolutely loved them. I'm definitely not a thriller girl as much anymore. I will definitely enjoy a thriller from time to time, but it is not my sole genre anymore. So this is probably the only thriller that I will read in 2024. But I do really love Stacey Willingham's writing. I love her thrillers. I love her plot twists. And I think that this one is going to be really interesting and kind of different from her other thrillers. This is about two friends who meet at the very end of their freshman year of college, Margot and Lucy, and they're pretty opposite from one another. They don't really have much in common, but then sophomore year, Margot moves in with three girls into a house off campus, and Lucy is one of those girls. Just as she feels like she is kind of getting the hang of things, a fraternity boy next door is murdered and Lucy has disappeared. It all unravels from there. I'm very excited to see what Stacey does in this book. I actually do have an arc of this book, so I will be reading it probably in the month of December, if not the 1st of January, because this book does release January 16th. Now, number three on this list needs truly no introduction. If you know me, then you know how excited I am for this book and how much I think about it genuinely every day of my life, and that is Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. This is the third Magnolia Parks book and the finale to Magnolia and BJ's story. I am just truly so scared for this book because Jessa is no stranger to pain. We all know what happened in Magnolia Park's A Long Way Home. I am just so nervous for what this book is going to entail. I am not going to say really anything about it because, like I said, it is the third Magnolia Parks book and the 5th book overall. Just know, February 13th, I will be sat and I will be ready to read about Magnolia and BJ. Alrighty, another February release that I am so excited about is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Ali Hazelwood has kind of been a hit or miss author for me. I really loved The Love Hypothesis. I didn't super love Love on the Brain, and I honestly haven't finished Love Theoretically. So I need to finish that book, but I am very intrigued about this book. This is a paranormal romance between a vampire bride and a werewolf, and that just sounds like the best time ever, in my opinion. So we have our main character, who is a vampire bride, in a marriage of convenience with this werewolf in order to kind of keep the peace between the vampires and the werewolves. So we love a marriage of convenience, we love a paranormal romance, we love vampires, we love werewolves. I'm like, Ali knew what she was doing. This girl knew what she was doing with this book, and I hope that it is a hit for me. And Bride is released on February 6th. Now, these next few are like bread and butter to me. These are some of the best lineups for me in the whole year of 2024, and that is starting off with Funny Story by Emily Henry. This book releases on April 23rd. We all know and love Emily Henry. I have loved all of her books. I've given almost all of them 5 stars except for one. This is a really funny rom-com about our main character Daphne. She actually has a traumatic breakup and she finds out that her fiance is in love with somebody else. She is then stranded in Michigan and she needs a roommate fast. So she proposes this idea to Miles and she's like, please, I need a roommate. Please be my roommate. I just need somebody there. She finds herself moving in with Miles, and Miles is actually her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex. books. I know that that's a bit of a scramble there, but she is like, there's no way that I can fall for my ex-fiance's new fiance's ex-boyfriend. Like, that would be absolutely insane. But I've heard that it's super fun rom-com. Like, it's got a lot of comedy in this one. Of course, knowing Emily Henry, there's gonna be like some moments of vulnerable moments for the characters and moments of growth. So I am intrigued to see what I think about Funny Story, and I always get so excited for April to come around because that means a new Emily Henry release, and I just hope that this one doesn't disappoint. I'm very excited to see what I think about Funny Story. All right, next up we have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Now, I've only read one Abby Jimenez book, yours truly, but gave it 5 stars. Think about it all the time. Like, I loved that book. I am very excited to see what this book is about. It is a summer romance, which we all know and love, and I think that it will just be like perfect for this time of year. This book comes out April 2nd, and we have Emma, who is a traveling nurse, and she somehow ends up sliding into Justin's DMs. And then she finds out that she is actually going to be located where Justin lives, like as her traveling nurse contract. So they decide that they are going to date and then break up. But we all know that that's probably not how that's going to end. I think it will be really fun regardless. I know that I genuinely keep saying that I'm excited about all these books, but that's apparently the only word that my brain can come up with right now. And of course I'm excited about these because they're anticipated reads. So make it make sense. I'm gonna try to stop saying excited. All right, next up we have A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. I absolutely loved The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Like, that was such a wholesome, fun, magical time, and I expect nothing less from this book as well. I feel like all these books are just going to be like so whimsical and magical and wholesome, and that is what I love at some points after reading some like heavy epic fantasies. I love a like little magical wholesome time. This is about a witch who has a second chance to get her powers back. So she actually decided to do a resurrection spell. It went wrong. She lost her powers, and now she is really trying to find a spell to get her powers back. She runs an inn with her aunt who she resurrected during this spell, and as she is looking for like a cure in a spell book or something like that, she runs into the historian Luke, and he's kind of like icy, broody, cold, and she possibly falls in love with him as he helps her try and get her powers back and like try and research some history around this spell. I think that this sounds like such a fun time. I love the like broody historian innkeeper vibes. Like, that sounds so good. I think that this book is going to be a really interesting take on like the spell book and the magical powers and things like that. I think that it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I think Sangu Mandana is going to absolutely knock it out of the park, and it also releases April 2nd. So I've got 2 books on April 2nd. I'm ready to go. April is going to be a fantastic month for reading. All right, I promise we're almost done. Next is none other than my favorite author, maybe ever, in the romance genre, and that is Ashley Poston. Absolutely love this woman so much. Like, all of her books are 5 stars for me. Absolutely love them. She has a book called A Novel Love Story coming out June 25th. This is about Eileen, who is a literature professor, and she decides to take a little trip to go see her book club in person. When she does, she ends up like kind of being stranded there. She has to like take cover in a bookstore because it's like storming outside, and when she goes into this bookstore, she meets the handsome owner. We love a handsome bookshop owner. Like, are you kidding? She also then realizes like something's a little off about this town. This town is kind of everything that she has imagined in the stories that she's read. Eileen is in a town that she has seen in some of these books that she's read. So excited to see what Ashley does with that storyline and with this romance. Next up is The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I am so obsessed with the Inheritance Game series that I will honestly read whatever Miss Jennifer Lynn Barnes puts out about these characters. So The Grandest Game is following Avery and the 4 brothers as they host their annual competition where they have a bunch of puzzles and riddles. So I'm excited to just get back with these characters. I absolutely love Jameson so much. I am a Jameson girly. Just excited to honestly get back into Jennifer Lynn Barnes' writing and this world as a whole. I don't know exactly when it releases, but I do know that it releases in July. The Barnes & Noble exclusive cover is absolutely chef's kiss gorgeous. We love her, so I will try and be picking up that one. Alrighty, and the last book on this list is Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. This book releases September 10th, and it is the second book to The House in the Cerulean Sea. Now, I absolutely loved Under the Whispering Door. You can actually see it right here. That is one of my top favorite books of all time. It is definitely within my top 10. Under the Whispering Door was so life-changing for me. It is so wholesome, but with such great messages, and I just am obsessed with that book. book. I actually have not read The House in the Cerulean Sea yet, but I'm going to get to it because I feel like that's going to be a really fun, cozy, maybe winter read, maybe like a January or February read, and then be able to read the second book that comes out in September. But it is the second book to The House in the Cerulean Sea, and his characters are always very well rounded. There is always like some sort of really great lesson or message. His books also have a way that make you feel like so warm and cozy inside, like you just want to wrap up these characters in your arms and hug them and never let them go. Like that's just kind of what his books give, or at least the one that I have read, in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, this book releases September 10th. Okay friends, those are all of my anticipated reads for 2024. There are definitely some that I will probably be leaving out on accident, or I just kind of skipped over some, but those are kind of like my top ones on my radar right now. Please let me know if you have any other recommendations down below of like anticipated reads that are on your radar for 2024, or things that I should be picking up next year. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video and for making it to the end. If you have made it this far, leave me a little fairy emoji. That is my favorite emoji of all time. Comment down below any other anticipated reads that you have for next year. As always, my socials are linked down below and you can always go follow me on there, and I will see you in the next video. All right, bye.